Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is going to be a bit unique. As someone who cares a lot about self-improvement, I have really been struggling with how do I know what to improve on? How do I keep myself motivated to want to improve? And a lot of that is like sifting through all the things that I could be doing. And how do I keep doing the maintenance things? How do I keep doing the hard work, knowing that I can't do it all at once? I can't progress. I can't fix everything that I know I could fix all at once. I couldn't improve all of it. And so for today's video, I'm going to be talking about that. And the way we're going to be doing that today is actually through a really cool app that you're going to be seeing it come up here. It's called brainstory.ai. And the app for me serves as basically a inner monologue, a voice where I talk to it. You're going to see very quickly I talk to it. It gives me a question back. It responds, usually with a bit of like empathy, understanding, and something to go off of. And what I've really noticed is that this is how I talk to myself. And I think self-talk is super important, but a lot of times you can't take your own advice, right? Like I feel like what I get from this, because I've been using the app several times now, is it feels like I'm getting my own advice, but it's not me actually saying it. So I can actually listen to it. So it's going to be a cool experience. We're going to go and jump right into it. I'm going to get into my inner monologue and see what type of solution we come to when it comes to how to prioritize things and being focused on self-improvement without overwhelming ourselves. So an issue I've been having is, as somebody who cares about self-improvement, that I notice so many things that I can improve on, and I don't really know which ones to choose. How do I prioritize what's most important to improve on at the given moment? How do I tell myself that I can just put these things on the back burner? How do I knowingly have awareness of the existence of things that I can do better without that pressure that I could put on myself that they need to be done right here, right now? It's like one thing to put out a reminder for myself. It's another thing to take note of it and kind of like brain check it until later. But that doesn't necessarily like ease all of that worry, anxiety of this is something that I have to eventually do, and I just want to do it right now. I want to do it all right now. So really like learning to prioritize those things is something that I am relatively constantly struggling with right now. So I guess if I think about like a successful version of this for me, it would be one that I'm currently in the middle of, but it's largely to do with like improving my home and improving it to be somewhere that I want it to feel like home. I want it to feel like the perfect place for me. And what I mean by that is that that also includes in my routine, things that I have time for, things I want to make time for. I think about I want to make time for cooking. I want to make time for coffee preparation because I really enjoy espresso, and I want to improve my workspace such that I feel happier and more productive during my streams and during my YouTube recordings. But then at the same time, I want to improve my organization in my room. And I also want to feel like my chores are not so tedious. So I guess like the success that I've had for this has been largely focused on, rather than I have like an ideal goal, meaning I have an idea of what I want my house to feel like eventually, but I've been trying to break it into bite-sized pieces of what's the next thing that I can do so that my house feels just a little bit more like home, rather than fixating on the bigger picture of the house being perfectly exactly how I want it to be. So I guess in that regard, the reason why I would have success is because I simply recognize one thing that could be done right now, and then I don't even take note of all the other things that I could be doing. I just fixate on the one thing until it gets fixed. An example would be organizing my laundry, organizing it into 3 separate hampers, having a general schedule for when I do it. And that means my closet's more organized, my socks are sorted, my clothes are where I know they need to be, so that when I wake up in the morning, there's not that inconvenience of like finding the right clothing. Is it clean? And so since I got that as a priority, knowing that that would help me, I allowed myself to do that first, for instance. And then on top of that, before I really added anything to my house to make it feel like home, I mainly prioritized cleaning it so that what I currently had was like more of a fresh slate. I guess the issue that I have is that my home is something that can be consistently, like, it has to be worked on, meaning that if I don't consistently take care of my home, then I feel the negative impact of that immediately, in every aspect of my life. You know, I feel like if my workplace is dirty or not tidy, and the same for my living space, that I already feel the impact of that everywhere else. So it seems like an obvious thing for me personally that I have to take care of. But I guess what I'm thinking is that, the balance between doing things for work, doing things for money that help me financially and, career success, balanced with things in real life that make me happier or make me healthier, like diet or the gym. And I guess like the reason why it's such a I think the part that really gets to me is that I'm spending so much time and effort on all of these things, meaning I go to the gym 5 days a week. I stream Dota 5 days a week. I, have to focus on what food I'm eating every day of the week. And when I'm not making meaningful progress on one aspect of those, because I can't make progress on all of it at the same time, then while I'm putting in that work, it's hard for me to just accept that that's like maintenance. It's hard for me to just say this is a lot of time and effort for maintaining. And it's like I accept that there's a lot of times in life where you do just have to maintain, but I guess knowing that I could do more and knowing which one to choose, it's like I want to just commit and say, "Hey, let's do that one first, let's do that one second." And in my mind I'm just like the best option is to just commit. But it's like that time and effort that I'm spending during each one that I didn't choose to commit to right now is the part that I feel like is the most taxing mentally. Hmm. What would it look like for me to feel satisfied with my progress? I think the answer to that question is not really obvious, right? I think in Dota specifically, the video game that I play, you have a measurable number that tells you how well you're doing. And even with something like losing weight, it's not a perfect metric because I could theoretically be losing muscle. And I feel like anything that's not quantifiable is naturally more difficult to feel satisfied with the progress. I feel like a lot of time you just have to feel like it's easier. I guess for the gym, an example would be if I have an easier time biking somewhere, or I go do rock climbing for the first time in a while and I noticed I'm better at it because I'm stronger. Those are ways that I can feel tangible progress by doing things that are not the things I'm working on, but I think could use the things that I'm working on. So I guess like Dota would be problem solving skills, working out would be just general overall fitness, things that require strength and endurance. And then I guess with like healthiness, that would be like how I feel in the morning or like how I feel while I work, like my mental alertness. That's how it would pay off. So I guess what I'm feeling like the answer for myself is maybe I have to figure out ways to like gauge these things in other aspects of my life to see like a noticeable difference or like a tangible difference. And that could be a possible solution. Sounds like you're considering using indirect measurements to gauge progress in areas that aren't easily quantifiable. Can you think of ways to test these measurements in your daily life to see if they provide the sense of progress you're looking for? I mean, what I feel like this is getting at is that I could work on ways to be mindful towards this progress, actually basically forcing myself to pay attention to anything that could be a sign of progress. So maybe choosing now what that sign of progress would be, and then maybe checking in with myself every day. So, for example, with health, I could do like, how do I feel mentally alert wise during work, after work? How am I sleeping? Stuff like that. For the gym, I could definitely do like how difficult was it on average to ride my bike for 10 minutes? Like, did that feel like a struggle? Did it feel really easy? Like, scale of 1 to 10. And then for Dota, I guess it could be. I think a lot of it is not necessarily what my exact rank is, but whether or not I feel like the games are me trying to play catch up, or whether or not it's me trying to, or feeling like I am above the average in the game. Like, how easy does the game feel to play at the level I need to play to go even? So that could also be something I scale 1 to 10. I could kind of do something like, this is how well I think I played every single game, and this is how hard it felt to play that well. Scale of 1 to 10 to get an idea of like, this is my ratio of effort to output and what's that resulting in. I could also take note of maybe what heroes I'm playing. So yeah, I guess I could create some metrics that would actually be quantifiable through these indirect methods. Creating personalized metrics seems like a great approach to bring clarity to your progress. How do you plan on incorporating these checks into your daily routine without adding additional stress or feeling overwhelmed? So the cool thing about this app is that I can end the story at any time. And for me, this kind of feels like the cutoff point where I don't really want to ask it another question or prompt it for another question to ask me. I feel like I'm seeing this and it's like, okay, this is your actionable result. How do you make sure you do that without burning yourself out or overwhelming yourself? And I like that it asked me that, because like it is tying back to the fact that all these tasks in and of themselves are overwhelming me. So it's like, how do you make sure you don't get overwhelmed when you add a little thing? That's this mindfulness check-in. So I guess I would say that the biggest thing for this is tying back to one of my other videos on this channel, which would be a matter of when I make the decision. So like if I make the decision now that after every game on my stream, I'm going to do this, that after every day of my stream, I'm going to do this. After I get to the gym on my bike, I just take a quick 30 seconds and type it on my phone. Not even 30 seconds. I guess for me, seeing that these things could be, a matter of 15 to 30 seconds of my time, maybe over the course of the day, it's like 3 or 4 minutes. I think seeing that it's that digestible and bite-sized would be what prevents me from being overwhelmed. And even though all the things I'm doing are a lot more time consuming than that, I think what I'm realizing from all of this is it's telling me like you just need a way to make it feel like your time is worth it. And that's exactly what it's suggesting me to do. And so I find that to be a very interesting conclusion. And I'm definitely going to do that. So I'll do some little mindfulness check-ins for the next week or two in order to make it feel like I understand my own progress and what I want to be doing with myself. So if you guys found this video interesting, if you think you could benefit from this app as well, definitely check it out at brainstory.ai. You can find it on any browser and you can join for free. And you can get 10 sessions, just like I had, 10 stories, if you will, where you can talk to it and it's going to talk back to you. And you can see, like, does it help you reason through your problems? I really encourage you guys to try it out because it was such a cool experience for me. Simply joining for free will get you those 10 sessions. And by the time you've done 10, trust me, you'll know whether or not it's useful for you and at no cost to yourselves. If you guys decide to subscribe because you find the app useful, make sure to use my promo code BSJ in the left-hand side, and it'll make it a $2 discount for you guys, as that is $8 for every month, unlimited uses of the app. And I'd really love to hear your guys' feedback if you decide to try the app, let alone purchase it, and know if it's something that helped you guys out. This app for me is something that's revolutionary. It's something that I would have never expected from AI, and the ability to basically feel like it's my therapist, feel like it's consoling me and giving me advice and making me look inwards, basically encouraging me to do that. And it's something that I'm already trying to do. And sometimes it's just too difficult. It's hard to get out of your head. It's hard to convince yourself that there's a reasonable solution here. And I feel a lot of validation from an AI about like, oh, that does seem like a good idea. It even gives me reassurance at times, which oddly enough almost feels like I'm giving myself reassurance. But definitely want to hear from you guys. And I hope you guys do try it out because I think it's something that we can all benefit from. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as it's a little bit of a unique take on the videos on this channel and the process that I go through to kind of solve my own problems. See you guys next time.